Why they do what?
Why do they suppress African countries? Because these countries are being exploited. The natural resources are being exploited. Okay. Who do you think exploits French-speaking African countries?
France.
Where do they get their electricity from?
France?
Yeah, from Africa.
Or France gets their electricity from Africa?
Because of the resources.
Okay.
How come they have so much gold? Where do they get it from?
From the countries in Africa that they
Who
colonize.
elects the African presidents? Do you think it is the African people?
I thought it was the African countries due to coup d'etats.
No. Who finances the coup d'etats?
Shit, I thought the military dudes just
Who finances them? Who tells them this president must be ousted? Why is he being ousted? Because he doesn't listen. His ears are too thick.
He stopped listening to us.
Yeah, he's looking at the jobs numbers now. That is none of his concern. He is looking at the social security. It's none of his concern. He's looking at health improvement or health development projects. That is
African
none
people.
of... Yes. So once they start to look into the real tangible problem of the country that they manage...
After working for the Europeans for so long.
Yes, they have to be ousted. Now they bring a new agent.
So they replace him with a new president that's just ready to be president, make money, and until he starts seeing a real problem.
Live your lavish life.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the African presidents, the type we're referring to.
Except for Kagame.
Yes, except for Kagame.
Except for
They
Kagame,
wear
gotta give it to him.
They wear $25,000-$30,000 suits.
Damn. That's not even necessary. Even the fucking president of America don't wear that shit.
Look at our African presidents. Look at them. Look at the president of Guinea. His outfit, his watch, he wears a $500,000 piece on his wrist.
That's crazy.
Why?
And that's just one watch. And he's got a white girl too. He got a white girl from France.
That's where he was bred.
So
Never even think that African people don't wish for their countries to be developed, or they have no vision. They have vision, they have dreams. It's just that they're incarcerated in their own countries, at home. They're in an open air prison.
Dang. That's powerful. Open air prison. Incarcerated in their own country. Kind of like Palestine.
Yes. They are the last to be given visas abroad. They are not even given chances for higher education abroad.
Exactly.
They are not given chances for better treatment.
Healthcare.
Nothing. Nothing.
And everywhere they go, they're looked at funny.
So,
You go to the airport, you have an African passport, the immigration. Well, it depends on the immigration officer. If he's intelligent, he's a good guy, he understands.
you
like,
can't even
it's not
board
about
your
passport.
flight if your documents are not cleared from your last port or from your port of invocation.
Yeah.
Now look at Nigerians. Nigerians, they're called the scammers of the world, right? Do you know why? Actually, to be a scammer, you need to be smart.
Real smart.
And these people are fucking smart.
Smart.
They have bright minds, but they're not being put to use in the right channel.
So they're forced to get it by any means necessary. So they're still smart and intelligent. They just do it in a different way.
Desperate measures
Calls for desperate times.
Yes.
Or desperate
Or
times
desperate time
calls for desperate measures.
Desperate measures. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, Nigerians are smart. All Africans are really smart. Really.
They are.
So, why do you think the world hate Africans so much?
Because Africa is so rich. And it's not the world. It's those who exploit Africa. Now they have to portray something negative about Africa so the exploitation could continue. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. I mean, those that exploit Africa needs to continue to suppress Africa so the exploitation can continue. And we all know who they are. So you don't think Arabs hate Africans?
No way. No way.
Because places like Dubai gives Africa visa, Saudi Arabia,
And then
they don't even care. You said they go to Africa. Lots of African countries are Muslim, so they go to Mecca yearly.
And then remember the funding that comes from the Arab world to Africa.
No, I don't know.
There is funding. I mean, look, remember that Zanzibar was an Omani colony, was colonized by Oman.
Really?
Yeah. Why did that have to come to an end? Because if the Omanis were left alone, they would expand in Africa.
True.
And what were they doing in Africa?
And Oman, Zanzibar is right there. It's Tanzania. It's part of Tanzania.
Go and look at the history. See what the Omani people did. Education, healthcare, Islam.
Tanzania is 80% Islam. Or say 70,
Yeah.
60, 70.
Islam, and then you had Gaddafi, the ex-Libyan leader. He has built mosques. Every country in Africa I have been to, there is a mosque and a school and a hospital developed by Gaddafi.
That's true. I prayed in one of the mosques. I went to Juma in one of the mosques in Burundi.
Yes, it was developed by Gaddafi.
By Gaddafi. Yup. And there was a school right next to it too, like right within the same area.
Any African country will go to. Why was he called, or why did he claim to be the king of kings? Gaddafi. Because he wanted to unify Africa and bring each state to independence and then fund those states to develop and exploit their own resources and create a single African currency.
Yeah, and passport.
And passports. So they really had to eliminate.
Fast.
Come on. He's big danger.
He was a big. You know, I saw an interview with Hillary Clinton where she said, "We came, we saw, and we killed him." And she laughed after that. She
Exactly.
laughed.
Yes.
I'm like, bitch. Like, she was happy to say they killed Gaddafi.
With pride.
With pride.
Why? Because he was a direct threat. And his project was imminent. Yeah? And there was no way they could stop it politically or diplomatically. There was no diplomacy anymore.
They don't have any ties
Because he was really going ahead with his vision. And he had enough support from the African leaders who actually bought into his idea. So, I mean, in fact, when they killed him, it was already too late because these guys had already embedded the vision. Now, what happened after Gaddafi's death? they started communicating with Russia. South Africa
India.
got into BRICS with India, Russia, Brazil. So it's coming because the vision is already there. These African leaders now want to follow that vision.
It's kind of like, it reminds me of when the Jews killed Jesus. Because they killed him, that made his philosophy, his message even more
believable.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I have another question for you. Do you think Islam, and I know you're probably going to say it's for everyone, but do you think Islam really applies to Africans?
Of course.
Because the reason why I'm asking this question is because when an African or a non-Arab reads the Quran, we have to pray in Arabic. The Quran is in Arabic, right? Just for the record, I love the Quran, right? I read the Quran, the Torah, the Bible. But when most non-Arabs read the Quran, they have to translate it to understand what it's saying.
Okay.
Or when they're praying with the surahs that they know. And I have to be honest, most people, and I asked a few people this when I was in Africa, they don't know what they're reciting when they're praying.
Yes.
Like, they don't know what it means.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't even know if they're making a mistake or not, because sometimes they're just
Yet they
used to
do
reading
it faithfully.
They do it faithfully. They pray faithfully.
Yes.
They're like faithful Muslims, but they don't know what they're saying when they pray.
Now,
and when they read the Quran, they don't know what it means. So, do you think the Quran, or not the Quran, Islam is for Africans, for black people?
It is.
It is.
It is. Do you know why? You see, I think by now Quran is translated to almost 100 languages, and that development is still ongoing. There will come a time whereby Quran will be translated to all languages on earth,
Like the Bible.
yes, and no one will miss it. Because you see, it's a step-by-step development, okay? And what is helping nowadays Islam to expand even faster? Social media. All right? Try something with ChatGPT. Are you familiar with ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Ask ChatGPT. You can try it now. What is the most truthful religion on earth? See what ChatGPT will say. And then ask ChatGPT, why should I follow Islam? If I were to be given choices between Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, and Judaism, what do you think is the best religion compared to Islam? See what this machine would say. This is another milestone that they did not think of.
When they created
AI,
ChatGPT.
yeah, AI is revealing the truth.
Because they're programmed it to give facts.
Yeah, the only religion and the only prevailing religion is Islam.
And it's the only religion that you really can't find contradiction in. There's no contradiction in Islam.
I give you an example. You don't hear a Hindu converting from Hinduism to Christianity or to Buddhism.
Never.
Or to Judaism.
Never.
What you only hear is a Hindu became a Muslim.
Or a Christian became a Muslim.
Or a Muslim became a Muslim. Or a Jew became a Muslim.
You said a Muslim became a Muslim. A Christian became a Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear otherwise.
Nah.
Because that's the truth. And where are we going? See, Islam means peace, right? And once you perform your duties in Islam, you really feel peaceful. It's that simple. But what they portray in the West is the complete opposite.
And so why do you think the Western countries hate Islam so much?
They call us terrorists,
Yeah.
Muslims.
Yeah.
We're terrorists.
Any Arab guy they see with a beard or
He's a
is
terrorist.
a terrorist.
But what they don't know is that we don't need to be terrorists. You know why? Because in the next 25, 30 years, the number of Muslims, I mean, I could guarantee you by 2050, some European countries will become 100% Muslim. There will come a time in Europe that governments will have to convert and become Islamic countries without terrorizing or anything. I mean, we don't need to terrorize people to invite them into our religion. That's not allowed by Islam. We are not allowed to kill women, children, like what happens in Gaza. We are not. That's why in warfare, we always seem to be weak because we are not terrorizing. We only target soldiers. We don't target civilians, but they target everybody. They target children, women, the elderly.
They target communities where people live and are trying
exactly.
to sleep.
But we filter our targets because that's what Islam says. Kill those who are armed, men only. You cannot kill women and children. You cannot.
Another thing you said earlier was, for example, in America we have freedom of speech and religion and things like that. But someone can go out, like you said, Andrew Tate said,
You can declare that Jesus was gay.
and walk around with a poster saying Jesus was gay.
Jesus not was, is gay.
Jesus is gay.
Yeah. No one would say anything. Try say something funny about Muhammad.
Yeah.
Try it. See what happens.
Exactly.
And that's one of the reasons why he became a Muslim.
Andrew Tate.
Yes, because it struck him that why do these people defend Muhammad so much? I'm sure he started reading about him. He started reading about his qualities. Then, obviously, curiosity kills the cat. He started reading the Quran and translating it word by word. And then he discovered things, scientific points, that there was no way at that time Muhammad could have known these things.
Exactly.
You know, there's one ayat in the Quran says, as you ascend to the sky, your lungs become tighter, so it becomes difficult to breathe in high altitudes
Due to gravity.
because of gravity and thin oxygen. One of the English pilots, when he saw that ayat, he immediately converted to Islam because his question was, how did Muhammad know about this? You know, there are so many scientific proofs.
1,500 years ago.
Yeah, how did he know that if you ascend, your breathing becomes tighter and tighter and tighter?
Yeah.
And no one could fly those days.
Exactly. Not back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what about the other ayah where it talked about where the Atlantic and the Pacific meets?
Barzakhan la yabghiyan.
What is it?
Barzakhan la yabghiyan. They don't want to mingle or mix to each other.
Yeah, not one drop of salt water
Would
goes
go
to the
to
other.
the sweet water,
Or
and
fresh
not
water.
one sweet water would go to the salt
Yeah, so
water.
fresh water goes to the
And
other.
then the line is so clear. You
can
could
see
see
it.
one is blue, one is brown.
Because you know what's so crazy? Like, there's videos where, like, the boats
Yes.
drive over it.
Yes.
But it's still, you know, like, sometimes when the water is moving, you can, like, the boat is moving on the water. The boat moves the water. But in that part, the water still doesn't transfer to the other side.
Exactly. No way. Now take it this way.
That's crazy.
Which one is it?
How did he know that? Because he didn't go there at that
He
time.
did. He didn't.
They were
On which
camels.
waters it is easier for you to swim? On sweet or sea?
Fresh or salt?
Yeah. Salt. If you could swim 1 mile in a lake, you would hardly do 600 meters. If you could do 1 mile in the lake, you could easily do 1.5 mile
Salt water.
salt water. Try it yourself. The sea is here. The swimming pool is here. Go and try. See which waters are thicker. Sweet water is thicker than seawater. Sweet water is full of minerals and oxygen. Seawater is full of salt that helps you keep you afloat. You know, so
That's amazing. So back to the Biggie and Tupac thing. P. Diddy, you feel like, you said when it first happened, you felt like,
it was 100% P. Diddy, I'll tell you. And then you see these parties everyone is talking about. That's what fame is all about. You see, I don't want to believe that P. Diddy was instigated by somebody to actually carry out these parties. The guy had a vision, right? He wanted to become more and more. You see, once you have money, what else do you look for? Power. So he thought to himself, the more people I surround with, eventually I will get into
more control.
famous business people. I will get in connections with those who are controlling the music industry. Then I'll get into Hollywood. Then I'll get into politicians. Then,
Because he has all the artists in connection.
Exactly. So what actually happened was, you see, if you surround yourself with different colors from the society, one day you would meet gay people, the other day you will meet drug addicts, the other day you will meet
Rapists.
politicians, you will meet
Child molesters, rapists, shit like that.
everything. So you would be surrounded by the whole society. Now, by you surrounding yourself and you always are hungry for power, obviously this is what would happen. Because you have, for example, a very important politician or a very important member in Hollywood who can make or break things, and this person happens to be gay. So you would do what it takes to please him in your party in order to achieve your goals. Like what Jeffrey Epstein did. Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. So it's this is very normal human behavior. You do anything it takes to get up there. So it's not that he was instigated, he was forced. No. It is the kind of people who he invited to his home. They brought these bad influences to his house. And he is also a victim.
You think so? He's a victim?
I mean, you don't become gay unless somebody molests you. You need to be molested to become gay. You need to
but what
take
if you
the
fight
first...
the molestation? You're like, nah, get the fuck off me.
Because they were...
That's if you allow it to. If you allow the molestation.
You allow it because of your lust.
Because of what?
Lust. Your
lust.
Yes, for lust. Because you want to earn extra 300 million this year. I want to achieve extra 300. I need this.
But I feel like, no, get the fuck off me.
Then
like that.
They would kill you. They will eliminate you.
Yeah.
Somebody else will take over your place. And then his dreams were much bigger than him. So he had to carry on. It's not that
he chose to be gay.
For a reason.
For a reason.
Look.
Because someone can get molested as a child and still grow up to be straight.
Yes.
Because they had no motives because they wasn't in their control. They had no particular motive.
They were victims.
They were victims.
But someone gets molested.
But they deal with the mental and the psychological.
And someone else gets molested as a child and likes it and continues the habit. Like this boy, Justin Bieber.
Oh, yeah.
He liked it. He enjoyed it. And he continued.
He was sucking dick in the club. That's crazy.
And you know the hardest addiction is, I believe personally, is to get fucked in the ass. You become addicted. You do become addicted. And there is no such thing as psychological impact when you fuck a boy or a boy fucks you. There is no such thing. This is bullshit.
It's either you like it or you don't like it.
That's it. And if you don't like it, you forget it.
Right.
If you like it, you continue. Psychological impact is there when you force a girl. You fuck a girl by force, there is a psychological impact on the girl. She will never forget it. If you rape a boy, there is no psychological impact. Tupac was fucked in prison.
Really?
Yeah, he was fucked in prison. How come he didn't come out with psychological impact? How come?
I don't get it.
And he continued to even grow stronger.
Yes, he was masculine. Because he was forced? It was against his will?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, anything that is against your will...
But he kept that a secret, obviously, right?
Well, it leaked out eventually.
Okay.
Like this Justin Bieber.
Yeah, because there were some videos of him, like, acting a little feminine at some point, where he started acting weird and feminine shit. Like, I don't know. Like,
you see,
but I never really looked too deep into that. But I have seen some videos where Tupac he was basically just acting.
What's the most...
His body movement and just the way he was talking.
The most important body part on earth. Let's say Mike Tyson, with his iron fist, gives you a proper punch and breaks your jaw and your teeth. Yeah? You will forget it. Eventually you will forget it. But if Mike Tyson sticks his dick into somebody's ass and this person likes it, he will never forget it.
That's a crazy one right there.
Okay,
Pause.
we say historical wars. Very high percentage of historical wars took place, and the motive behind these wars, especially during the Roman and the Greek times,
Yeah.
women were behind the wars. Right? Why were women behind the wars? Because of a dick. True. Take it or leave it. Because of a dick. A dick makes a woman erupt like a volcano. Once she's in love with your dick, she would conquer the world not to lose that dick.
That's crazy.
And then at the end of the day, we go and say, women are satanic. Women do this, women do that. But what actually drives them is the dick. You see something, once you scroll your Instagram pages, they show you, for example, ex-relations of Madonna, ex-relations of Leonardo DiCaprio, and. Actually, women prefer to have one proper dick.
They don't want to sleep with multiple men.
No. Now, the toxic things that happen in their lives is that they become super comfortable financially and they decide to think like man. I have enough money. I can afford anybody. So let me try this black guy. Let me try that brown guy. Let me try this white guy. It's all about dicks.
Ah! Yeah.
And a prostitute.
Yeah, because you know what? I noticed, I'm sorry to cut you off, because you can be walking and there's a girl walking with, usually like white women. I'm like, no offense to the white women out there, but it's usually like white girls where they're walking with a white guy, but we walk by, you know what I mean?
And
I'm black, you're Arab, but you see her like still turn her head to look after they walk past it. She still turn to look, catch a real quick. But she's already with her man. But she wants to look real quick because she knows his head is looking forward. He's not turning to look at us. And she knows the timing. So she'll hurry up and real quick to check us out real quick.
Why dicks are more addictive to gays than heroin? Why do you think that is?
I never thought about that.
They are. You never knew?
I mean, I know gays are gays, but I didn't know.
What makes gays continue
to be gay?
To be gay? What? Why don't they simply say, I've done enough of it. I need to be straight.
I never thought about that because in America, they constantly promote LGBTQ or STZ. Right?
In fact, they don't need to promote it because
they even have a flag for them now.
Yeah.
And child molesters get more or less time in prison than someone straight that did a theft or whatever, stole something, $500 worth of whatever. You know, you can steal a TV.
Gays are pardoned.
Yeah, gays and child molesters, they have less time. They even have like their own prisons where they live minimum level security.
And they could continue their habits inside. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. See, why do they put them in minimum security, separate cells? So they could continue doing what they are doing. Now, one thing that these guys are forgetting. What do you want?
Papers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, Once Justin Bieber likes it, he likes it, right? What makes him likes it? What makes him like the thing?
I don't know.
I'll tell you. When you fuck a boy, you shoot inside.
You what?
You ejaculate inside the ass, right? That ejaculation makes miracles. This is what science is not telling the whole world. And this is why it is forbidden in Islam.
Yeah, because European culture, they allow that shit. They created that shit.
Yes.
They started it. I wouldn't say they created it. They started that.
No, not them.
The Romans. Who started? But Europeans. The Greeks.
Way before the Greeks.
You know, it's not, definitely wasn't Africa.
Arabs.
The Arabs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's something new. That's something new to me.
Sodom. It was an area called Sodom.
Is that Sodom?
Sodom.
Sodom.
You see,
Sodom in the Bible, it says Sodom and Gomorrah.
I'm sure they mean the same thing.
Yeah, Sodom. Because Sodom, Sodom. Yeah, in the Bible, it's Sodom or it's Sodom and Gomorrah.
So.
Yeah, those two cities.
Yes.
That God destroyed.
Turned upside down.
Yeah. So in the Bible, it's called Sodom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Sodom.
Okay.
Now in Sodom.
What the fuck? This is new information, y'all.
These guys. How did Sodom become Sodom to start with? You want to know how it started, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. This village was in a very, very strategic area for travelers, passages of goods,
Merchants.
Okay. Merchants, everyone had to travel through that route. Okay? Now, when traveling to that route, there was a tiny village that you had to descend a few meters because that route was on a mountain hill. So you had to descend through that mountain hill to get supplies. There was no way you could continue your journey without stopping in Sodom.
Right.
So what the devil did, the devil acted in form of human being, okay? And stopped there and started collecting road taxes if you're going to Sodom.
Taxes?
Road tax.
Road tax.
To collect, to replenish your supplies. In order for you to continue the journey, you needed water, you needed food supplies and everything. So the devil would stop in that crossroad, yeah? In form of human being, right? Then he would start to welcome all those passing by that road. Yeah? You welcome to Sodom, to this, supplies, tourism, everything.
At the entrance of Sodom.
Yeah. So
basically to get people to go to Sodom.
To Sodom. Now.
Is this... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He did not claim road taxes in money. He collected the taxes in kinds.
In kindness.
In kinds. Meaning to say...
kindness, like being kind to someone?
No. You have two types of gifts. You have a gift in money and you have a gift in kinds. May it be a watch, may it be a piece of cloth, may it be a service. Yeah? Okay. Then he started telling the guys, you want to go, I know you need water, I know you need supplies for you to continue your journey. For me to allow you to go down, you need to do me a favor. Okay? Now those travelers are so desperate, they would go like, what's the favor? Yeah? Then he would open his ass. A quick bang would do it. And it was something that they never knew. It was something really new to the world, right?
Well, what if it were women? What if it was women?
There was no way those days women would travel alone.
True. Yeah, exactly. They would travel with their husbands and stuff.
Now, he started receiving dicks, right?
What?
And then eventually he thought about what you've just mentioned. There will be women in the journeys. He included another girl. You don't want to fuck me. At least bring a girl who will lick her pussy. Or she would lick her pussy. Or she would.
Caesar.
Yeah.
The lesbian shit.
Yeah. So now both habits are developed.
Wow.
What he does next, he knows people in Sodom are already talking about it. That we had to fuck a guy before coming here.
Oh yeah, because the ones that passed.
Yes.
Yes.
So now it becomes cultural.
Because it seems like everyone. Because now it seems like everyone.
Now
that
there is
been there,
curiosity down there.
Because-
Can a man actually fuck a man? And then they go, yeah. Why do we have a hole? And there's a dick. It's functional.
that stuff will lie.
You understand? So
Yeah.
it
That
becomes
stuff will lie though.
it
Yeah.
becomes a trend now. Now it's a trend. It is stylish to fuck a man and to screw a girl. So it became a habit.
We are ready for screwing a girl though.
Yeah. So it's a habit now.
You mean to fuck a girl in the ass?
No, a girl fuck a girl.
Oh, okay.
So now it's a habit. It's a trend. Well, trends become habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The habits become the norm.
The norm. The norm becomes cultural understanding.
That's crazy. So where was Sodom and located in today's time?
Somewhere in Jordan. Somewhere in Jordan,
Wow.
just beneath Palestine. You see, all the beautiful, the ugly things on earth started in that area. In Mecca, I mean, when the Quraysh started killing their own newborns,
Yeah. That's like that reminds me of like the story of Moses.
if
When
it's
a
a
fell.
girl, they would kill her.
Why?
They don't want responsibility, no headache.
But surely you need women to reproduce.
They were too stupid to think about that.
So eventually came a time where they were short of women. Yeah?
Yeah. You see,
What the fuck were they doing?
each prophet
Why are you
who
killing all the
was
women?
sent by God was sent for a purpose. Because you have to remember, not all prophets who were sent, they were sent to say, pray, do. No, it was to improve the civilizations.
Oh. So it wasn't about just praying and do good. And
No. All you needed to do those days was to say there is only one God. You didn't have to pray. They were called muwahideen. You only needed to say there is only one God,
La
the
ilaha
only
illallah.
creator. Yes,
La ilaha illallah.
that was more than enough. And then you have prophets who were sent for the purpose of cheating in the market. What was happening at one time was like you go buy 5 kilos of potatoes, right? You buy 5 kilos with the merchant, but when you go home, you actually find that it was only 2 kilos you paid for. There was a specific prophet sent for this. And then you had those who worshipped trees.
The sun, the statues.
The sun, the statues. So, you see, after Noah, okay, you don't want to know what happened before Noah.
I do.
The world was in chaos. Everything went out of control.
Okay.
Adam's teachings vanished.
Was Adam a prophet? Because Adam and Eve were technically supposed to be the first men and women to be.
Then eventually,
created
when he
to
was
be kicked out
sent
of.
to earth, he became prophet.
Ah.
And then what was the first crime?
But how did he become a prophet if it was only him and Eve?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Why was he a prophet? Because he was the prophet to produce human beings and give them the proper cheating.
Teaching. Not
Yeah,
cheating. Teaching.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's your accent. Teaching, yeah.
And then what happens? The devil took over one of his sons who killed Cain and Abel and Cain.
Yeah, Cain killed Abel.
Yes. Now, that was the first crime on earth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when he killed, what did he produce after that? He produced a whole generation of criminals.
The Europeans.
Criminals. We don't want to specify the rest.
I apologize.
Yeah. I mean, he produced a whole generation of criminals who are simply following the devil. Because the very same devil who pushed their father to kill his brother, that very same devil's influence continued for generations, because human beings live 90, 100, 200, 300 years those days, but the devil have a longer lifespan, you know.
He's still alive today, right?
Yeah, some of them are in today's life.
I mean, the devil, he's still alive today.
Yeah, we still have devils who are 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years old.
So devils are not demons? The devil is the shaitan.
That's it.
Okay.
You see, demon in English is Iblis.
Iblis. Oh, I thought Iblis is shaitan. It's just a different name.
It is the same thing.
Okay. But there's different jinns.
There's no different.
Okay.
You see, and then you have people who say they are Muslim jinns.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that in
Yes.
Africa. I learned that in Africa.
Yes.
There's Muslim
But
jinns.
remember one thing.
So the Muslim jinns are actually good.
You can't follow them still. Because if they are really Muslims, they are not allowed to associate with you. You know, some people say we go to this traditional healer, he uses Muslim jinns. That's not true.
My dad, no offense, but my dad does that.
No,
He's like,
that's
they
not
use the
true.
name. They use the Quran. They use the name of Allah. I'm like,
No.
I always tell my dad, you don't believe in Allah because you pray, but then you go to a spiritual witchcraft guy that deals with jinns, and
then
you
he
claim
says,
he's using the name of Allah to
No,
pray for you.
because you
That's
see,
still wrong,
I'll
right?
tell you something.
That shit crazy.
For Muslims, right?
Yeah.
You are not allowed to kill a sword. You are not allowed to kill, right? Being a Muslim, it's illegal to kill anybody, right? For the Muslim jinns, for them to become good Muslims, they are not allowed to associate with human beings. And it is stated in Surah Al-Jinn in the Quran. Those who followed jinns thinking they are following Muslim jinns,
For Allah.
those jinns made nothing to them but their lives even more difficult. فَزَادُوهُمْ رَهَقًا. Because, you are following me. You think I'm a Muslim jinn. But I am already violating
the law.
the law of
Allah.
following you as Muslim. How can I be a Muslim by violating the law?
Exactly. Okay.
So many people in the world today, they go to these fortune tellers, traditional healers, and they tell them, no, we use only Muslim genes and all. It's wrong. Altogether is wrong. It is wrong. Genes can never heal human beings. They don't know al-ghaib. They don't know what will happen tomorrow. They don't know what will happen to themselves tomorrow. How can they know what will happen to you tomorrow?
You know what? Like these fortune tellers, but these psychics, they say that when they do what they do with the shells, you know, like they have like the seashells that they hit them together,
yes,
and they tell them what's going on. They say that the jinn goes up to heaven and read the book of life and tells them what.
Do you want me to give you a contradictive evidence to that? You have in the Quran a surah called Was-Sama'i Wat-Tariq. It's called Surah Al-Tariq.
Surah Al-Tariq. I know that surah.
Yeah. Was-Sama'i Wat-Tariq. وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب.
Oh, it's a different one. It's not Al-Ghariya. It's a different one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, sometimes we see this light crossing النجم الثاقب. You know, when you sit at night, you see speed of light.
Shooting star.
Shooting star.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
What is that shooting star?
I don't know.
A shooting star is actually shooting a devil trying to read the books. The Quran.
The devil, shaitan or a jinn?
Shaitan. Because only shaitans can go that far.
So
they try to peep
in the book of life.
The book of life, and they get hit with a najm al-thaqib.
Najm al-thaqib.
So who the fool on earth says they come back with information defying the words of Allah? Who on earth dares to say that?
That's crazy. So, what does it mean when you see a shooting star? Because I've seen several in my life.
It's a devil being killed.
So what does it mean to me? It means, is it a sign to me? Is it some type of sign?
It is a sign.
Does it mean I'm at the right place, right time, or
yes?
Like,
now that you see now,
I've seen it,
you being in this region right now, this is the season. You go to Oman, you see them so often, even here, because the skies are so clear in winter here. Yeah. You will see them almost every day.
So it's the angels are shooting the jinns.
They're shooting the jinns down, trying to read the book of life. And no one has ever survived. Never. And no one will ever survive. It's like I have troops here. I have 100,000 troops. Every day I send 2, 3. Hey, go and try. They're all shut down.
Back to
and basically, do you know what they're trying to read?
No.
They're not trying to read about your future or my future.
Because that's what you're going to the witchcraft guy for, to him to tell you about your future.
They are simply looking for one information. When is the time?
The day of judgment.
Yes. When is it?
What is it called?
The resurrection. Yom al-Qiyamah.
Yom al-Qiyamah. Yeah.
That's all they want to know. Don't think they care about you or me or... They want to know when will it happen.
And no one knows, because it's in the Quran. No one knows the time or the day.
And no one will ever know.
That's crazy.
So you see these scammers, they say, okay, because some information comes back and you are the chosen one. We got, it says this and this about you.
Yeah. They always tell you something good.
They always tell something good. They never tell you that one day, you'll become old and one of your legs will be amputated. They never say that.
They never say that. So about Cain and Abel. So after Cain committed that murder against his brother,
Then once he committed the murder, he was so shy, he didn't know what to do with the body. I mean, he has a bad daddy, someone dead. Now what do I do with this thing?
no one ever been buried before.
Yeah. Then a black crow comes and shows him that do this, dig, open a hole, and then put the body and bury it.
And is that crow part of jinn or shaitan?
God sent it.
God sent it. Because there's a lot of crows in Arab countries.
Even
And the crows
anywhere
are not
in the
scared-
world.
They're not afraid of humans.
No.
Crows are not afraid of humans like other birds. You're just walking by, you shush them, they fly away. But
See, crows,
they just jump back and they
with
come
the
back.
information
They're
that
not afraid of you.
with the information that the world was misled, because crows are black and anything black is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Crows are the smartest, the friendliest birds. I will prove this to you tomorrow. Now it's too late. Tomorrow I will prove it to you. And people don't like to see crows around their homes.
They think it's bad luck.
Come on.
Yeah, because it's black. They think everything black is bad
They
luck.
clean your yard. They make sure no insects around you. They make sure that all your waste is managed.
Yeah.
And they always want to come back to you and provide the service.
Just for food. They just want
They
food.
know how to find water.
Really?
Yes. Come on. Again, it's because they're black.
It's because they're black.
Yeah. Let me go to the toilet.
Oh, man. Crows are intelligent. Crows are one of the most intelligent birds.
Yes, they are.
So after Cain killed Abel, he created generations of criminals. And when you look at the Bible, when you read the Bible, it talks about, it claims that Africa is the land of Canaan.
Yes.
Is that true?
You see, no, not Canaan. Because you had Sam and Ham and the third one who was left, I forgot the name. One went to Africa.
But they call it the Canaanites, the land of Canaan, the land of Canaan.
Canaaniyin, they're the Arabs.
The Canaanites, yeah.
They're the Arabs.
Yeah, because it's because back then it was like very close. It's still close,
Yes.
like you know what I mean.
And then you see, you have one that went to Africa, one went to this Arabic, and then expanded towards Asia, and one went to Europe, because
north.
only 3 of them were left. This is how the
So
colors.
there were 3 brothers.
Yeah, because the 4th one was killed.
Okay.
So
They never teach us that. They only
Yeah.
talks about Cain and Abel.
no, come on.
Cain and Abel. I think there was a 3rd one, but they.
You see,
Because
Sam.
the Europeans changed the Bible a lot.
Huh?
They changed the Bible so many times.
Yeah, it was changed. So that's one thing they can never do to Quran.
No, that stuff is lie.
No way.
You can't.
Because Quran already mentions that no one can ever change it till the day of
As a matter of fact, it's
resurrection.
so complicated and still clear. You can't even.
You cannot
There's
add
no way-
one vowel.
There's no
one vowel.
one vowel to be changed. You can't even change it.
Mm.
And that's another thing about the Arabic language. It's like the Latin language or Greek language. It's so old that it remains constant.
Exactly.
So there were 4 brothers.
One died,
Okay.
and then Sam, Ham, Japheth.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Sam, Ham, and Japheth.
Okay.
Now, one went to Africa, one went to Europe, one in the Middle East, and the one in the Middle East continued all the way to Asia. That's how now we have the Indians, we have the Chinese.
Yeah.
Now, you see, human bodies are adaptive
To the environment.
to the environment.
Yes. What is that called in science? It's called not evolution, but basically like it's some form of genetic mutation where we
That you adapt to the environment where you are,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'm losing my science.
after Noah, that's when the real civilization started. Then the proper prophets came to teach human beings about civilization. You know, the earlier prophets were not there to tell us we must pray, we must do this, we must not drink. No. They were there to tell us there is one God, one creator. We have to abide to him. That's it. And yet it was so difficult for the non-believers not to believe it. So can you imagine if after Noah, Muhammad came, nothing would have ever happened because Muhammad would ask us to pray 5 times. He would ask us to read Quran, and our mental capacity could not take all that at that time because we were still developing. Now the thing is that we have to understand that human beings don't belong to earth.
Belong in heaven.
This is not our place.
Belong in heaven.
Yeah. Why? One simple example. A cat, a dog, a lion, an elephant can walk anywhere on earth without shoes. You need shoes because this is not your environment. You go and throw yourself to the sea, you'll drown and die. You go up the mountain, you fall, you are dead. Because this place, you don't belong here. You were cursed to be here. That's so wrong place for you. You need clothing. When it's cold, you're not happy.
When it's too hot.
When it's too hot, you're not happy. Because actually, this place does not belong to you.
It's a place of punishment.
It's a place of punishment and temporary place.
Say that again? Temporary?
It's temporary. I mean, if it was permanent, if this was your right environment, you wouldn't need shoes to walk around. Even the ancients, look through all civilizations, human beings had to wear shoes. Nothing talks about shoes in heaven. No one feels cold in heaven.
No one gets hungry in heaven.
No one. So we don't belong here, actually. We are here being punished. And the punishment, the best punishment besides the environmental adaptation is our sabr, tolerance. Can we tolerate this life without violating the laws of God? Can we take this environment without fornicating, without drinking, without lying, without doing all the sins that we know of? So now, because we want to survive this ugly test, we have to lie, we have to fornicate, we have to become gays, we have to become drunkards, we have to take drugs.
We have to steal.
Yeah, we have to steal, we have to do everything. But God says once you stretch yourself and call me, I am there. I'd give you a more peaceful life. No, but we want to become rich and famous.
Like P. Diddy.
For example, see what it took him to become rich and famous.
Man.
And that fucker is not young. He's 60 plus.
Definitely.
Now you see, what's the worst thing? I would rather work all my life for $50 a month to be comfortable when I'm old than living all my young life as a millionaire and become an inmate in my late 60s or my early 60s. Which is better? Have the $50 all your life, live your end days comfortable. Not have all the millions and live your end days in prison. This is what's happening
And
today.
die in regret.
I mean, can you feel the pain he's going through?
And like they were saying on the news, like none of those celebrities that used to go to his house to party wants to communicate with him now. No one wants to answer the phone. No one is trying to associate with him. Everyone is keeping their distance and pretending like they
For
never
their
went
own
to,
safety.
for their own safety,
Yes.
pretending like they never went to his parties.
Yes. Now, could you just imagine how strong of a curse that is? Everyone wants to be away from you. Live through your own pain alone. No one will even give you psychological support.
No one
At
wants to be
that
associated
age.
with him.
Yeah, at that age. So which is better? Have $50 a month and live comfortable in your elder days? Or have all the millions when you're young and you rot in prison like a rat in your olden days?
That's a lot.
You see,
Who do you think is doing that to him? Because surely most of those people that he was trying to get the power and the connections with
I'll
were
tell you
working with
something
him.
about God.
Why are they?
Not many people perceive this. Let's say you're an alcoholic and you like to fuck boys.
Stuff a lot.
Example. You drink your alcohol. You fuck a boy. Every day. Quietly. No one knows about this. You are forgiven. But once you start making parties and teach others how to fuck boys, now you are the devil himself. Because you are spreading the influence. In Quran it says, Yunshirun al-fasad.
Yunshirun al-fasad.
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 They are spreading that bad, ugly influence. Now you've taken the devil's role. You are teaching people how to do bad things. So let's say you and your boy partner, you're quiet. You fuck each other every night. Right? You're forgiven. There was a guy, the Prophet himself attended his burial ceremony. This guy used to drink throughout the year. He was known in the society as the drunken master. He drinks, and God knows what he did behind the scene when he was drunk. Because alcohol invites everything that's evil. Maybe he was fucking girls. Maybe he was fucking boys. Nobody knows. It was behind closed doors. When he died, the Prophet went and attended his burial ceremony. And when they were carrying him to his grave, the Prophet was carrying his dead body, and he would walk as if he was avoiding thorns. on earth. You know when you don't want to step on a
Thorn.
throw
Thorn.
a thorn. You know how you would walk, right?
Yeah.
Avoiding unwanted
Yeah,
things.
like glass or something.
Yes. So they buried the guy, and then the Sahaba, they were all shocked. This guy, the Prophet, attending his burial, and why was he so careful with his steps? They had to ask him, what's going on, man? Why did you attend this guy's funeral? Why did all of us attend his burial ceremony? What's going on? We need to know. She says this guy was drunken throughout the year. But when it came to Ramadan, he never missed his prayer. He never missed his reading. And he fasted throughout the month faithfully. That's enough. That was his highway to heaven.
Wow.
Never spread bad influence. Never. Sometimes people do bad things unknowingly. Look, Hamid, I know you have problems. I know this witch doctor. He's good. He can help you solve your problem. And I take you to him. See, I am teaching you bad things unknowingly, thinking I'm doing something good. So what happens to you? Unknowingly, I don't know that I'm sending you to hell, thinking I am helping you. I get rewarded for that.
Although, because you don't know.
I don't know. God is more merciful than any human being could think. I'll give you another example. A mother has 2 boys, right? So one boy kills his brother. One boy kills the other boy. And then the case goes to court. What do you think the mother would do?
Go to court.
Yeah. What do you think the mother would ask from the court?
Forgive my son.
Why?
Because she loves him.
Why?
That's her son.
And because he's the only one left. Right?
Yeah. But she loves both of them equally.
Yes. So she would appeal to the court, please don't kill this one because he's the only one left. Yes, he killed him. For some reason, I cannot afford to lose both, right? These are human beings. To God, multiply that mercy by endless numbers of zero. I mean, if you think your mother loves you this much and cares about you this much and can't afford to lose you this much and can't, as many zeros as you could draw, that's how merciful God is compared to your mother.
And everyone knows the love of a mother is
Pure.
It's pure and it's
Pure. And without
unimaginable. Like we can't even imagine how much our mother loves us.
exactly. And without asking anything back.
Yeah.
So imagine God, the one who created your mother.
So with that being said, God lowering our spiritual essence to come to earth. It's not necessarily, it's a punishment, but there's still love behind it.
Greater than you could think. Way greater than you could think. Okay, see.
So where's the love? Where's the love when? Because lots of people say this, like well, if God loved us, or especially like the Christians, they say, oh, Jesus loved us. Now these are like the non-believing Christians. They still claim to be Christians, but they're saying things that are not from faith.
Yes. To test the situation.
To test the situation.
Yes.
But they say, oh, if Jesus loved us, then why is he letting all the Europeans kill us? Or why is there racism? Or why is Africa so poor and stuff like that?
That's the devil.
But they're questioning Jesus.
That's the
because
devil.
They believe in Jesus. They don't believe in Allah directly or God. They believe in Jesus first.
It is to the best of my interest for me to lure you. Lure. Yeah. To get you out of your straight path.
Yeah.
I would say anything to bring those doubts into your heart. The thing is, today, we have so many Muslims. But, unfortunately, these Muslims don't pray. And deep inside their heart, you know what they say? They take that God is the most merciful for granted.
Right? Like the Christians. There's Christians too. They do the same thing. They feel like, Jesus died for our sins.
You cannot compare Christians and Muslims.
No, but
there's
in this
no
case you
1%
can,
comparison.
Well, as far as faith and like the principles of the religion, you cannot. But Christians also believe, oh, it's okay for me to do this. It's okay
I'll
for
give
me
you
to
a
do
very physical example.
Okay.
You came to Dubai, right? So you're in Dubai. I'm American, you're American. I have a visa. I have an official address. I have everything official. And you have nothing. You violated immigration law. Yeah? You have no address. You have no proof of anything.
Right.
Who do you think lives comfortably in Dubai?
You.
Right?
Yeah.
Me. And you know all these things I've just referred to. You're a Muslim, I'm a Muslim.
Right.
I have visa, you don't.
Right.
So do you see the amount of hardship you have to go through? Insecurity. You don't sleep well at night. You're worried police immigration can get hold of you at any time.
Anytime.
You have to be hiding all the time. This is the type of Muslims who don't pray before God. Nothing is easy for you, whereby everything is easy for you in life. So people think, yes, God is the most forgiving, but you really have to pay for your consequences. If I put my head on the pillow, I sleep. You put your head on the pillow, now you have to think about your violations, your status. You don't sleep comfortably. You are so uneasy because of one simple tax you're not paying.
Because of what?
Tax. One simple tax. That is 5 prayers a day. So that's how life becomes miserable for you. It does not mean you will go to hell, but you don't live an easy life. That's why we have to pray to God. It's that simple. So if you ask many people, they complicate the issue for you. Oh, because of this, because of that. I have no time for this, I have no time for that. All these are fake excuses. You are a Hindu. Hindus, actually speaking, Hindus, they are so disciplined They never miss their Hinduism prayers.
Every morning, every night.
Yeah, they have to go in front of that elephant statue and they put the candles on, they do what they have to do, the rituals, but they never miss it. How can they become better than us?
Speaking of Hindus, do you think religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, and religions where people don't believe in monotheism are practicing a false god? I mean, worshiping a false god?
I'll tell you something.
Because Allah, it says in the Quran and in the Bible, there's only one God and one God to be worshipped.
I'll tell you something. You see, Hinduism is a very old religion. Very, very old.
Like Buddhism?
Buddha is mentioned in our religion. Buddha.
In our religion? Islam?
Yeah.
Really?
Buddha is Buddha. He's mentioned in our religion. He was one of the good people, as-salihin. Okay?
As-salihin.
Yes. Buddha. He was a person who introduced, why are you asking?
Respect.
He introduced discipline. You know, disciplinary measures in life, meaning to say, if you want to eat, you have to wash your hands. You must make sure where you eat is clean. You must make sure the place you sleep is clean. When you shit, when you defecate, you have to wash your ass.
With soap and your ass.
Yes. This was Buddha's role. And then later, because he was such a good person,
so he was a person, not a spirit, not something that they made up.
Nothing of that. Buddha was a
they
person.
They made it seem like Buddha was like, Buddha was made up or something like that.
No.
So
he
Buddha
was a person.
Okay.
They call them Awliyaullah Salihin, the good people.
So Indians are considered the good people.
They were, you see, remember again what I was saying. Those days you only had to admit that there was one creator we all should abide to and build our principle upon the creator. So it was those days. Even in Surah Nuh it says there were those good people who came to earth and introduced good disciplines. Ya'uq, Nasur, and the third name I forgot. These guys were so good. Many people followed their influence. But when they died, you know the fucker what he did, the devil?
Changed the shit.
He says these people were so good and they shouldn't be forgotten. This is where he started the idols. Because we don't want to forget these people, let's build statues of them.
Okay,
so they built the statues.
Okay.
Once the statues were built, like 100 years later, now he comes with a new trend. The trend says, these people are being less respected. Why not we bow to these idols to appreciate what they taught us and our fathers? Because you see, nothing came.
So in a sense, those Buddhas might have been like prophets in a way, or
yes,
maybe not prophets, but a great example.
Prophets. I would use the word prophets because God says in Quran, He only introduced 25 prophets in the Quran, the ones that are mentioned.
I thought it was 40.
25. 25.
The Bible mentions 40, and I think the Quran
Wait,
says 40.
some of the names that are mentioned in the Bible, some of them were actually prophets, and then the Bible says they were good people, like Job.
Yeah.
Job was a prophet.
Okay.
Ayub,
Yeah. Ayub. Yeah.
he was a prophet.
Okay.
But the Bible portrays him as someone good. He was just a nobody,
Exactly,
but with
not a
good
prophet.
faith.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
was not a prophet.
Right.
I read the Bible.
Right.
For me to become a Muslim, I need to understand what
Me
others-
too. Thank you.
Yeah.
So for the record, like I started reading the Bible because I was reading the Quran so much. I came to a surah where it informed me to read the Torah, the Quran, and the Injil, the 4 books of
the heavenly
of
books.
the holy books, right? And when I started reading the Quran, the Bible, and it started going to a church I had to go to a church to get more understanding of the Bible because I can't
But
read
you
the
see
Bible
what you see in the Bible
But my
today.
family, my parents being Muslims, Arab Muslims, my dad is like mixed with Persian, African. My mom's African, but
If
they disowned me. They felt like I was doing something wrong.
you are
for
getting out of your
Islam.
way,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. I
Even
can
my sister,
understand
she
that.
felt like oh, bro.
But
you're
the thing
confused.
is, when you read the Bible, you immediately, after the second chapter, you immediately realize that this thing is man-made.
Exactly.
This
It's a story.
It's a story. This is telling us a story.
Exactly.
This is telling us a story,
Yeah, after
and
Genesis,
it
you're
is
like, this is a story.
and it is asking us how to behave politically. Meaning to say, we have to follow the political order, but the Quran doesn't carry any of that.
The Quran is all spiritual based.
It's the words of His Majesty. He only wants what's good for us. And He says, anything good is from me. Anything bad is what you have created. So what are we saying here?
So there's only 25 prophets.
They're all mentioned. But remember, He says 25 prophets, the ones I have mentioned. And there is many more we did not mention in this book. So he
Like Buddha.
he alerts you that 25 he mentioned.
Or official.
Others are none mentioned. Yes.
Okay, so that goes back to Buddha.
Buddha was a good person. Ya'uq, Nasur, all these people, they were also good. Because of them, the idol trend started.
Idolatry.
Because what did the devil do? When they died, they said, oh, come on, let's build their idols, so we will always remember them. And then a generation later, he comes back. He says, these people were so good in human form. These guys were so good. Come on, let's keep their surroundings clean. You see, because
altar.
yeah, you don't simply come and convince human mind and ask human mind, let's change these fountains into fireplaces. You can't simply convince a person. For me to convince you is that, look, these fountains, the weather is so humid. Let's lower them down. We lower them. I come back 20 years later. Why are we wasting water? People are thirsty out there. Let's turn them off.
And give
Turn
some
them
water
off.
to those people.
30 years later, now 50 years have passed by. Choose this. People will make good use of this place during winter. Let's light fire here.
Ooh.
We light fire.
A process.
It's a long process.
Long process.
So first they build the idols, And then he comes back. Why are we not keeping this area clean? Let's clean it. We start cleaning it and make sure the area is so clean. I come back 30 years later. See, the area is so clean. We need to give prayers to these people. See how clean it has been. It's a miracle, right? It's been so clean. It's a miracle. We go, yeah. How come it's so clean? How come people are unwillingly cleaning it every day? It's a miracle. We have to come. 20 years, we have to prostrate here. Go prostrate. This, what you don't know, 50, 100 years ago, people used to give. They bring food, they light candles to ask for the same blessings to come back to them. You know? So I go like, oh, today I cooked rice, I cooked chicken, I cooked potatoes. Let me sacrifice some to the idols so they would pay me back. Yeah? And then we start going and putting sacrifices there. We start putting some. It's not an overnight process. It's never an overnight.
Years of process.
Years, hundreds. So Hinduism, I think Hinduism is older than Abraham.
God damn. Abraham.
Yeah.
Abraham is older than Solomon, right?
No, Solomon came.
Okay. Well, that's a long process.
Now, who's Solomon's father? David.
Who? David, King David, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But who is the actual king?
Allah.
Solomon.
Yeah, you're right. Because Solomon is referred to as King Solomon.
Yes.
And David is just known as David.
Now, there is one important piece of information that till now no one could prove it.
So you need to talk to me about this after. Yeah, I think I have a question.
Mathematically, because God gave Solomon the ability to speak to animals. Jinns were working for him. He could communicate
Spirits.
with anything.
Yeah, trees and all.
Trees. But there is one formula there. Human beings, I think they would need to work for the next 500 to 1,000 years to find this formula. He says, and we bestowed to him winds, the power of controlling the winds. Their length is 1 month.
Power to control wind.
And the length of the wind is 1 month.
Who said that?
The Quran. Now,
was Allah talking to Solomon, King Solomon?
Allah was saying what he bestowed to Solomon. He gave him the power to control the wind. Now, the length of this wind is 1 month. Right? Now, what do you gather here? It means the wind has quantity, has speed, and can be contained.
Can or cannot?
Can be contained. Because God says, we have bestowed him the power to control the wind, and the length of the wind is 1 month. So how do you measure wind against time?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
It would take human beings at least another 1,000 years to find out, how do I control wind, or how do I measure wind against time? And the speed of wind is so variable. Now it's windy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe half an hour later,
It changed.
it will change. But now I need to convert that into 1 month time to know how much wind it is.
Goddamn.
This is one clue that is driving me personally crazy.
That's the kind of thing that people don't even bother to think about. They're like, oh, that's too much. I'll just think about how much I need for a Ferrari.
At this age, with today's technology, I really want to find this out.
You think we have the technology to do that?
I don't think so.
Because you know the Europeans can create clouds.
Yeah, even here they do it.
And make it rain and stuff.
They do it here.
By creating
rain, yeah, they spray some stuff into the clouds. Cloud feeding, cloud seeding.
And make it rain. They do it here too?
So my $1 million question is, when are we going to find this out? So now do you understand why we are always so proud of what we are?
Yeah.
Because we are the elites. We are closest to God.
Where are the Africans in this scale?
You have more than enough Muslims in Africa, and they are still coming. The number is increasing by the day. And the political status in Africa will obviously change one day.
But the Europeans have bombs that they're ready to drop on Africa if Africa stops to.
They will never do that.
The African government stops to. They can't because they need Africa.
They will never do that. You know why?
Because they bombed Japan.
No. You see, day by day, stupid enough, they create laws to constrain themselves from taking that act. Believe it's all mentioned. We know what is going on.
Does the Quran mention Africa?
The Quran says the poor and the weak.
And the meek shall enter heaven first.
The meek. Now, who's the poor, who's the weak, who's the meek? Where do you find that? You find that in Africa, you find that here, you find that in India, in Asian countries. And then you are surprised, most of the meek, right, are found in Africa and India and Asia, but not here. Why they are not considered the meek? Because the religion and the message is already in their blood. That's why they are not the meek. And you find them doing funny things because they have a strong belief. It's like they have the magic word. I can do this and I can do this to repent. But the real meek thinks there is no way to repent. That's why they are meek. You get it?
Yeah, they have to stay devoted.
Pious.
Yes. Exactly, that's the right word.
Because they don't know that there is an exit.
There's an exit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But these guys here, they know there is an exit.
I like the fact that you use the word exit
Yes.
because exit is such a simple term, but at the same time,
It's so meaningful.
It's so meaningful in that phrase.
Yes. Why? How do they know these exit loopholes?
Okay, so,
Because the book is in their own language, so they know how to weigh the words.
exactly. Okay, so that's how this conversation started. So, because I asked you initially, do you believe Islam is also applies to Africans?
100%.
Because when Africans read, when I say Africans, I mean black people, non-Arabs. When they read the Quran, it's not their language. When they're praying, it's not their language. They don't know exactly what they're saying until they translate it or read the meaning. So, how does Islam apply to them if they're practicing a religion that
You
doesn't
see,
come from their culture?
when those colonies started in Africa, they used to spend money to convert Africans, the Zulus,
The Mali Empire,
the Malian, the
Fulanis.
Fula.
You know about the Fula? I'm
Yes.
Fula, by the way.
I know you're a Fula.
How you know? How did you know?
By your looks.
You know where the Fulas come from?
The Fula, the Hausas.
Yeah, the Yoruba.
Yeah, the
the
Yoruba. I know.
Ashantis.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I know all these tribes.
yeah.
So, you know how they used to pull their legs?
How did you know it's Fula? That's crazy. We'll come back to that later. Okay.
How they used to pull their legs?
By the way I look. Okay. That is true.
By food. They would create feasts. They develop a church, and then every day there's free food, freebies every day. And then they bring a priest. You see this food you're eating, you see this wine you're drinking. They used to actually buy Africans by feeding them fancy food.
Fancy food.
And then they used to tell them, what you are worshipping is basically voodoo.
Right.
This is the real thing. And then Islam comes to Africa and distracts all that.
So was the voodoo fake?
Voodoo
doesn't apply to Allah, does it?
Yes, voodoo is not a religion.
It's not a religion.
Voodoo was a simple ritual.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, it's a ritual. It's black magic.
Black magic. Yeah. Satanic.
Satanic. And then voodoo was to do bad than good. Historically,
because go ahead.
Historically, in Africa, African kings would use voodoo against their invading enemies.
Did it work?
It did.
So black magic is real.
Of course.
Because it's with the jinns. The
How
devils.
can we deny black magic? क्या?
What? What?
क्या? उधर
इधर जाने का
इधर जा
You speak in Arabic?
क्या मतलब है?
इधर जाएगा ना इधर
क्या नंबर?
सद्दाफोर
Sadafo.
Oh, it's the other way.
इधर Sadafo इधर ये building?
this one सद्दाफोर
It's this one. Well,
This
it's
is
not.
Sadafo.
yeah
Well, you have to go around maybe.
this one other side closed door
Well, call them and tell them to come down.
2004
No, it's on the side. The side right there. On that side.
no other side door is closed
This
No,
one
look.
here, there is door here. Go this way. There is door.
And
This
there's-
one?
Yeah.
No,
There's
no.
also a door on that
Here,
other
here,
side.
yeah. Left, go. सीधा जाए. Left. ये entrance है.
You speak he's speaking Indian, right?
Yeah,
You speak Indian?
a little bit.
You speak Indian?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow, okay. Alright, so I forgot what we were talking about.
So they used
the
voodoo
worked, yeah.
against their invading enemies. And then they had to sacrifice human beings to make sure that they were never invaded. To maintain the kingdom, they had to sacrifice girls. So you have countries like Swaziland. Have you heard of this country called Swaziland in Africa? and parts of South Africa. South Africa was not South Africa.
Yeah, that's just the name that Europeans made.
Yes, South Africa was tiny states. Pretoria, Cape Town was never there.
Cape Town is just a town. That
They developed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But Pretoria is one of the authentic cities of South Africa. And then they had this person who's always called a Sangoma. Sangoma is the witch doctor. They call them Sangoma. Now, these were the guys who would be very close associates to the king. You know? And they would always tell the king how good or bad the situation is and what measures to be taken.
Yeah, what they need to sacrifice.
Yes, do they need to sacrifice humans, animals, whatever, in order to deter the enemy from entering their territory?
And that shit worked.
It worked, and they used forces, they used armies. It was never easy.
Right.
Yeah.
God damn. So that's how Islam came to.
And then you have some people, they come to you, they tell you, and we've been seeing a lot of this in social media, they tell you that Quran changes with time. The interpretation of Quran changes with time. For example, in 1945, we did not see this until we saw that, and then when we interpreted Quran, we realized that Quran's meanings grow with time. That's bullshit. Do you know why?
Wow.
Okay. Human beings, since Cain and Abel, all right, they have been sinners. What are the sins in Quran?
I'm assuming the same.
Idealize, worshipping anything other none than God. That's the biggest.
That's the main one.
Yeah. Then, fornication, homosexuality,
Murder.
lying, murder, and not believing in the prophets.
Yeah, and backbiting.
Yeah.
Talking about some of your friends, your people behind
Prophets.
their back.
I mean, we have 25 prophets mentioned, right? Now you don't believe in them. You're a sinner. Okay. So, let's compare time now, right? If we are to compare time, people will lie more in the future. They will fornicate more. They will drink more. They will introduce public homosexuality. Right? What is that in the future would be introduced the Quran hasn't mentioned? If a new technology comes, it's for the good of the people, right? We could fly from France to New York in half an hour. That is technology. It's an advancement and has got nothing to do with Quran, because the Quran says humans will always advance, right? But what will happen in that flight? The half an hour flight, France to New York. What will happen in that flight? flight attendants will be wearing bikinis, G-strings. Free drinks will be given. You will be allowed to fuck in front of each other. So basically, what we are saying and what the Quran is saying, as time goes by, people will have no shame. There is no shame. Okay, you are from America, right? Compare the outfits. How did the girls dress up in 1950, 1930? And how are they dressed today?
Totally different. More scandalous.
We are trying to save cotton now. When it comes to girls,
They're not
we are
even
trying.
wearing cotton. They're wearing silk and see-throughs.
They wore long dresses covering their knees.
Yeah, jeans
And now what are they wearing?
see-throughs.
See-throughs. 20 years down the line, what will they be wearing?
G-strings, which
Just cover the nipple and the genitals. Even G-strings will be too much.
this sounds like a prophecy right here.
Because of what we have already seen. You know, it took Hollywood, people like Sophia Loren, famous European actresses, to introduce the bikini. Because when it was introduced by this fashion designer, French fashion designer, girls did not accept it until they saw it on the silver screen. Then eventually and very slowly became a trend to wear bikinis to the beach.
They wear that shit from the house to the beach. All in public. You see that
So
shit in Miami all
this is
day.
what I'm saying. It's never easy to convince human beings to do something new. It's only a matter of time.
So, in conclusion to all this, what message would you give to our African brothers in the diaspora?
The strongest message I would give to our African brothers, all the successful Africans, Afro blood I call them, in America, in Europe, shift your assets back home. You are better off in Africa. You are 100,000 times richer in Africa, and your own African soil will charge you nothing
To live there.
to continue your development. And whatever it is you have in Europe or America, you already have it in Africa. You only need to improve it.
It's powerful. So yeah, there you have it, man. It's the process, the growth and development, and the reconstruction of Africa, man.
Everything is there. They
Everything.
only need to improve it.
Exactly. There you go. It's the
And I
process.
think, you know who's taking that initiative? What's this guy's name? I think he's from Senegal. Kano.
Is it an African American guy that moved to Senegal? Because there's an African American guy that moved to Senegal, and he's
Yeah, he's the
He'll
guy.
be-
What's his name?
I forgot his name, but I follow him on Instagram.
I wanna, yeah. I need to know, yeah. What's his name?
Not him, but I follow a different guy that's from America as well. I forgot which part, somewhere in the Midwest, and
He has a funny name. Kano.
he's helping black people invest in Senegal or in West Africa. Just
What's
in
his
general.
name?
I can't remember his name.
Kano, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the guy I'm referring to.
And he's helping people like invest in Africa, build businesses.
And he's
and
already
houses.
investing himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yup.
yes.
Now he started like some type of investment firm to where he can help people.
Imagine these huge people, Snoop Dogg and this
Exactly. The rappers and
Jay-Z,
stuff that have
the
money.
rappers.
But Jay-Z and
the-
those people work for the Europeans. They don't want to.
because of the lust again, you see. They just want to be super famous.
Rich and power.
But they will never make it in America. Never.
Eventually they'll take them because a lot of people are saying Jay-Z is implicated in P. Diddy's scandal.
100%.
So eventually they might go after him too. Just like they
They
started
will.
attacking Oprah Winfrey. You know,
They
Oprah
will.
Winfrey, she's been rich and famous for decades as the first black female billionaire. And now they're
It's so
attacking her.
simple. I'm a TV channel
They're
manager.
attacking her.
I'm a TV channel manager, right? Okay, Hamid, you have a show? Yeah, your show is interesting. It's nice. I'll just need some time to find the right slot. Initially, I will start the 11 o'clock p.m. show for you. Okay, there are less viewers at 11 o'clock, but I'll give it to you for a quick round. We see how it goes. Once we are super friendly, I'll move your slot to the 7 o'clock show. That's prime time. That's what fame is all about. First, you started late shows, and then with late shows, you almost lost your ass or your dick is broken. And then for improvement, to put you on prime show, now God knows what you've lost.
Yeah. Your morals, your dignity, and your religion.
Yes.
That's crazy, man. There you go, man. It's the process.